It's slow, hey? It says live, okay? I see the live part.
Yeah. And you can
Speak
hear me
up.
perfectly.
You're gonna need to
Can
turn
you
the sound a bit up, eh?
you you need us to turn it up?
Up.
Up. Steve, can you make it a bit louder? How's it sounding for you now?
I can hear you, but geez, man, I'm gonna have to lean in.
You'll have to plug us into some speakers.
Send some speakers my way, buddy.
You'll only get them tomorrow.
How about this one, Lebo? Can you hear us
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
Okay, is
offensive.
it
That's
better?
what it is.
Okay. No, cool. We'll use this
You're
one
gonna
then.
need to turn the sound a bit up, eh? There we go. Okay. Yeah. Now I can hear you, fellas.
All right, Level, you good to go?
Yep. That's more like it.
Okay, cool. Let's do this.
And Steve. I
Yeah.
can hear you, but
Yeah.
the main it's all good. So the main idea really is. Hey, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, dude. Keep talking.
Shut up, man. Who's that? Okay. Yeah, offensive. That's what it is.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Oh, okay. Now I can hear you, fellas.
Wait,
All right,
you've got
Steve,
it
Steve.
open on YouTube,
Yep. That's more
and
like
it's
it.
playing in a delay.
And Steve,
So you need to close the YouTube video that you're
the
watching.
main it's all good. So the main idea really is. There you go. Wait, can you
Okay, that's pretty funny. I won't lie.
Steve, can you hear me well now?
Yeah, it's cool, bro. You should close the video.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a quick intro.
Okay, let's hear
This
it.
is Mike.
Hi guys.
Mike is gonna
team.
tell you quickly what he does.
All right, cool.
Hi guys. I work a lot with the schools, colleges, and post-16 education over here. Do a lot of enterprise work and trying to encourage young people into business. So nice to meet you all.
Very nice to meet you too, man.
All right, and then this is Charles.
Hi guys.
Hi, Charles.
I'm Mike's boss, so I make sure that he does all the work and I take all the credit.
I like your job. I
But no, we work
Very nice to meet you guys.
in partnership. We do a great great double act.
I'm very sure that you guys are rocking it out there. You guys ready for the
Yeah.
show tonight?
So Raksha, are you hosting?
Yep. Here you go.
All right. The idea with it, so that we can get interaction going over the 10 minutes that we have, get two people from the audience to almost like to either whether they want to ask a question or anything related to what's happening around the hookup dinner and the whole global connection. I know that you will think it out.
Yeah. So, Lebs, I was just going to do a very general hi and hello to you.
Okay, I can't hear you
I
now,
wanted
Raksha.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was going to do just a very general sort of intro to you, say hi to you, let everyone know where you are. And I wanted you to tell the story of why you're there and what's happening there and engage everyone from that side
All
as
right.
opposed to listening to me. So it's engaging there a little bit more. And then, yeah, I think it's a cool idea. We'll think up a way of getting people to ask you questions about what's
All
happening.
right. Tell somebody to move their bum.
Move your
Whoever's
bum,
supposed to move their
Offensive.
bum from the screen.
We all know my face is much prettier to look at than yours.
And Raksha, the idea really is to prove to Google that we can live stream across the world and do crazy things. Because I'm putting together a proposal that takes it to that next level. So if we can get this interaction going over the 10 minutes, then it takes things to the next level for us.
Perfect.
I wish John was watching this when he's in. And just make sure that when we have this, Malose is in the room. That's Malose Kekana, our keynote.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good. Can I drop?
Good. So, Steve, you know what to do when we need it to be done. Now he's on the phone.
WhatsApp me if we need to do anything else.
Okay, cool.
Stop, James. You and your ugly thumb.
Bye.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please take our seats so we can start with the festivities of the evening? Thank you very much. Ladies and gents, let's take our seats, please. We're about to start. Thank you very much.
Are you doing this for the purposes of testing, mate? What's up, guys?
Sup, dog?
Hey, Level.
Yeah,
Level.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
listen up. What we're going to do is I want you to stay online so we don't drop the connection when you need to come in. And then when we
Okay.
call you, you're just ready to start talking, all right?
All right. And WhatsApp me if there's anything.
Hey?
If there's anything else you need to tell me, just WhatsApp me on the side.
Got you.
All right. Sweet, buddy.
Is the pro in there that way? Oh, that's alright then. Couldn't remember that.
Good evening, everyone. Yo, I think there's about 250 people in here. Good evening, everyone. That's better. I know it's cold and everything, but it's okay. Welcome to the hookup dinner. My name is Pakiso Tsotezi, and I'm going to be your MC for the evening. But with that being said, I've got a lovely lady that's going to be co-hosting with me. I thought we needed a bit of change in this place. You know, there's too many males that stand up front here. So there's going to be a lady that's going to be hosting you guys today. And her name is the lovely Raksha Mahabir. And you're going to meet her a bit later on today. First of all, I'd like to welcome you guys. Are we okay there, guys? Everybody, are we okay there? Do you guys want to have a seat? I've got a couple of seats here in the front. Is there anyone that's willing to move forward, if that's okay, or are you comfortable where you are? I promise you, we make these beanbags, and they're very comfortable. I promise you. Is any one of you guys willing to move forward, hey? There we go. There we go. That's better. Thank you. Look much better. Much better. Voila. Fantastic. Like I said, my name is Pakiso Sotete, and I'm supported by an amazing team, guys. And that team, I'd love to introduce you guys to them this evening. Because as the Hookup Dinner, we're a movement that is all about collaboration. And ever since we started this movement, it's been a movement whereby we've gotten entrepreneurs that can be able to support us for the past 2 years, where we could be able to barter services amongst each other and use our products to be able to kind of put what we've put together, what we've put tonight together. So I want to introduce firstly one of the gentlemen that is in charge of the actual sound that is operating today. And his name is Offense. Offense, where are you, boy? He must be. How are you? He's from the design bar. And then we've got somebody here who's in charge of the tech. And his name is Steven Pinto. Do you want to come say hi?
Hi. Said hi.
He's terrible. That's why he's a geek. He's always like that. And then we've got another gentleman, guys. His name is, what's your name? I call him Jack Perro. And you'll see it for yourself. His name is James. And he's in charge of the wireless connection in this place today.
George. I know I'm not the only one with a comment. I'm just going to do a 10-minute intro. Let them know that I have the introduce chart and then let them get on with the show.
so that you can see what is it that can culminate from the engagement that you guys are going to have for the evening. Now, we've got something very exciting today. So normally, Silebo Khomulif is the guy that normally stands here, who's my business partner as well. He's in England. He went to go and attend a conference there, an entrepreneurship conference, and we're going to be live streaming today with the guys from England, and just to kind of get a sense of what was the conference about, and what is it that he kind of experienced while he was there, and what are some of the opportunities that lie for entrepreneurs in South Africa, and what is it that we can learn, and what is it that they can learn from us. So that's something that we're going to be doing this evening as well. But not to be talking too much.
Jax, I bet you can see me now. Tell them to fix it. And then it has these movements. Just a little producers.
Seats on this side and a couple on this side. So if any of you are standing at the back, please feel free to make your way to the front because there are some spots here. Okay, so just I want to do quick housekeeping and quick reminders just for the evening. The loos are in the corner to your left. It is the hookup dinner, and we have these amazing guys from a company called Something Fresh who have provided dinner this evening. So if you go to the corner on your left again, the food is over on that side. You can pay them, and you'll be guaranteed a delicious warm meal this evening. As PK said, we call him PK. The founder, Dr. Lifesgood, we were so honored that he was invited to represent the face of entrepreneurship in Africa. He was invited to Humber Business Week, and we are going to be having a quick chat with him now, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about what's happening over there on that side, why he was invited, what exactly he's been up to, and I would love for you guys to engage with him. So if it's of particular interest to any of you, if you have any questions for him, I'll give you an opportunity to come forward and we can chat to him. So Lebs, are you ready? Can you see me? Are you ready to tell us a little bit more about what's happening over there?
So I can see you guys. I don't know if you can see me well, hey?
Loud and clear. We can see you very clearly.
Ah, sweet. Hello, guys. It's it. Okay, shoot.
So you want to tell us a little bit more about what's happening? Where are you? Why are you there?
It's this beautiful thing we call technology and social media. So as you know, I was connected to Costa, who's in Zimbabwe, by Jodine from Follow SA. And Costa connected to Charles, who I'm going to introduce shortly, who's in the UK, who invited us to the conference on this side. And basically, it's about the spirit of entrepreneurship, guys. And the more you seek for things out there, the more they just open up to you. And we're invited to something they call Humber Business Week. And the particular event that I was invited to within Humber Business Week, which is the biggest business week in the world, by the way, it attracts close to 8,000 people.
Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Don't be shocked when technology drops. It does these things. Hang in there. All right. It's called House Enterprise. And what I realized about House Enterprise in a nutshell is that the whole spirit of entrepreneurship and developing an enterprising culture starts at a very basic level. You need to start at primary level with kids. And this is what these guys are doing so well. And I'm amazed. I'm shocked at what is happening out there that we are not doing in South Africa, and we can potentially learn from that. And with that, we're hoping to build collaborative opportunities that we can get our entrepreneurial community engaged with the entrepreneurs here in England, as well as have a sort of global exchange program where we can take entrepreneurs from South Africa and bring them over to England, and vice versa, where we get young entrepreneurs from England to come through and experience a different culture in South Africa. And we are trying to build up that kind of collaborative spirit, and it's working pretty well. And we are supported by the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, by the way. And I must give a shout out to FNB that made sure that I got my flight tickets. So we're being supported by the business community. Let me introduce Charles so that he can just quickly tell you who he is and how important he is.
Hi guys, my name is Charles. I run the enterprise programs in Hull related to youth entrepreneurship, working in primary schools, colleges, secondary schools, and helping young entrepreneurs to develop their enterprising idea. We've been really grateful that this guy's come all the way from South Africa to our event yesterday. I hope he enjoyed it, and we look forward to the collaboration between Hull and himself and you guys, particularly amongst our young people. Really proud to be actually working with you, and hopefully working with you more in the future.
Awesome stuff. You want to shoot any questions, Racha?
Does anyone here have any questions you want to ask Lebo? I think there's some brilliant, fascinating, and really important stuff happening there. Humber Business Week sounds fascinating, Lebs. You want to give us some highlights around what's been happening there? Anything particular that you engaged on? We know we saw some tweets yesterday where you sat on a panel.
Yeah. Anybody remember Global Entrepreneurship Week? Just by a show of hands in the room. Do you have an idea of Global Entrepreneurship Week? I just want to see by a show of hands. Okay. So, yeah, sweet. So basically, picture Global Entrepreneurship Week done in a different time of the year. And it's done in a workshop format where you get businesses that come together for 1 week and celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship by sharing knowledge and celebrating the culture of enterprise all around the city. So it's not one event. It's not just the hookup dinner that is organizing something throughout the week. It's literally different types of people organizing their own little sessions within one big umbrella body. And that's what Humber Business Week is about. And then when you talk about house enterprise, from my understanding, it focuses on the young people. Are you moving the goats? Just so you know, I'm looking at a goat's ass from where I'm sitting, guys. Right here, I'm pointing it on the screen.
Maybe we shouldn't be working together.
Yeah, and house enterprise is focusing on young people between the ages of, is it 4 to 11, Charles? Or is it 11 to 17?
No, 4 to 21.
So it's 4 to 21. So you can picture Michelle Smith's business, Kiddipreneur. It's literally about, imagine kids knowing how much profit they made and what are the costs in the business, financial planning, communication skills. These kids were doing amazing things yesterday when they were presenting their businesses. And literally, that's what we would like to accomplish on our side, where apart from our startup community of entrepreneurs who already understand some of these things, imagine if this thing is started at an early level, and by the time you get to the age that you see in the room right now at the hookup dinner, these people are already at that next level where they can be investment ready, and that there can be a culture that is surrounded by that. And that's what we are really trying to build up on here.
That's incredibly powerful. That is so powerful. And I mean, it's exactly there. That's where it all lies. If we can get our youth, and you talking about youth as young as 14 years of age, if we can get them inspired to connect, engage, and contribute in an entrepreneurial space, the future of this country is going to rock and roll. When they get to the stage where we, at this age, sitting in a room networking on this level, they are so business savvy that they're running their second and third and fourth business and collaborating on things that are changing the face of this country and its economy. Really nice stuff, Lebs.
And
so can help us to lead this change.
Okay. No, thank you. And just in closing, what I really learned from this, and I hope there's some people from government who are sitting in the room, is that government plays a role. They play a key role in enabling the sector for people to do their own thing. And then the private community has a much bigger role, which is about taking action. So what I learned about how is that they do things. They don't talk about it, they take action. And whether there's budget or there isn't budget, they just go ahead and do it. And this is being driven by the city council on this side. But it's amazing to see young people just going out there and doing their own thing. And to see enterprising skills being rolled out in schools and being the young people being the driving force of business, it's an amazing thing to do. And I know that we can replicate that culture. We are already in a conversation with the city of Joburg, And we're hoping that we can all engage together with the NYDA and a couple of government agencies to take something like that and roll it out in South Africa and really make an impact so that we can shift the mindsets of young people within our country to move to the next level. And then also give them exposure to global opportunities. Traveling is everything. I've learned so much in this short week. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I know you guys are cold. Sorry.
Nasty, very nasty.
So,
Cheers, guys.
on a much lighter note, boy, I saw a lot of activity on social media earlier on, and I heard something quite disturbing. I understand the gentleman behind you tweets on a 3310.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw magic.
I really want to see that. How does he do
Turn
it?
on your phone. This phone, guys.
This phone.
You.
Can you see this phone? This is the 99 Rand phone, guys.
So how has he been
all
able
of his tweeting here? More than all of us in the room.
How has he been able to tweet on that, though?
Dude, I don't know. He pushes a button, but it's magic. Because I thought like he had some program, amazing program that was happening there. And then I see him, he's holding his phone and he's tweeting. And he says he's tweeting. And I was too shy or too embarrassed to ask, where are you tweeting from? Meanwhile, the phone is right there, guys. So you can achieve a lot with the most basic of technology. Try it. Try it.
So
Guys, I'm out.
sense
Cheers, man.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Okay, so, and Sans, I want you to get this photo. By a show of hands, how many of you are at the hookup dinner for the first time this evening? That is by far my favorite part of the evening. Lebo always starts off the hookup dinner by asking that question. And I love looking around, and I'm always taken aback because you know how the process works now. When the invitation goes out, the first 250 people to RSVP get a spot. The rest, too late. Too bad. Sorry, you don't get in. And it's so exciting for me that each month, at least 50% of the room are new people. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the hookup dinner. This is what it's about: connecting, engaging, contributing, and most importantly, collaborating. I think when we listen to what Lebo was saying and we listen to the way PK introduced the team today, that's what it's all about, the spirit of collaboration. And it's this beautiful Ubuntu of South Africa that we live in, that we're so passionate about. So let's get straight into it. The real meat that you come here for is these pictures. I just want to check before we get into it, are our 5 pictures in the house? So I'm looking for Ndabazizwe. You just hand up and show me you here. Shalton. Yost. Oh, okay. Daniel. I know Daniel's here. Daniel Main. All right. And Sizwe. Okay, good. So for those of you who are here for the first time, what's going to happen now is, in order to engage with the hookup dinner this evening, you must have a pitch card, which you would have received at the door, and you must have a pen. So do you have that? Does everyone have a pitch card and a pen? What am I hearing? Yes or no? Okay, half yes, half no. Okay, so team, can we get some pitch cards and pens in the house, please? We ready to start the pitches? Lovely Londi and team. So I'm going to call the first person up. What's going to happen is they have 180 seconds to pitch their business. You're going to listen keenly, and you're going to basically decide their fate at the hookup dinner this evening. So on the pitch card, there's a rating system. You're going to tick next to the person's name. I know that the last 2 blocks are blank. When we get there, I'll ask you to write in the name of the 2 surprise pitches for the evening. But you'll get to rate them, number 1 being no thanks, with number 5 being absolutely, yes please. And what will happen is we will have a winner this evening, and all the winners from the year will go into a pool where there'll be a big pitch-off at the end of the year, usually during Global Entrepreneurship Week. Okay, so now is everyone sorted? And there's a lady up here at the front. So we're going to call Ndaba Zizwe. Woo! A reminder, you want to tweet at the hookup dinner. The hashtag you're going to use is Jozi and hashtag Kickstarting SA. Another major theme with the hookup dinner is to engage a community beyond the physical four walls of this room. So the only way to do that is to get them seeing, feeling, and hearing what's happening in this room, and that's going to happen through your tweets. Awesome.
Who am I? Where am I from? What am I pitching? Good evening, fam. My name is Ndaba Zezwe Kagiso Velenjalo Kapnaksale Mzwandile Mngube. And much like the rest of you, I'm an avid entrepreneur. From the cliche of selling sweets in primary school, washing cars, cleaning pools, to manufacturing industrial grade uniforms and selling feminine hygiene products. Most importantly, since high school, I've run a comfortable IT firm providing support services for SMMEs, right? And in the last 2 years, we've been working on the Zap factory. Now, basically the Zap factory, we've taken the efficiencies of a factory floor and some modern innovations from Russian teenagers, and it's allowed us to create a process that we can speedily make web services available for SMMEs at a price that isn't as insulting to your cash flow as what we have available today. From our 199 Rand websites to our partnering program for app development. Today, I want to tell you about one of those apps, Super Shopper. Is it a price comparison app? Is it a discount app? Is it a grocery list app? No, it's all of the above and more. Super Shopper is the smart way shop, the new way to shop, the only way to shop. And it's very simple. You get the app, you load all your grocery items into the app, and you let the magic happen. Now, just to summarize quickly before I continue, who am I? That's me, Ndaba Zezwe. Where I'm from, Zap Factory, and what I'm pitching today. Charles would be proud, eh? Paper. Super Shopper, basically, what happens is once you've loaded your grocery list, right? Unlike the price comparison apps that you get today, it's not about finding the cheapest product. It's not about finding the millions of products on the internet. We deal only with brick and mortar retail stores, allowing you to find your products in a store that's close to you, allowing you also to define what's important to you. You know, whether you want the high grade products, you want Woolworths products, you want the cheapest products, do you want to get your things cheaper because of a bulk discount? Super Shopper is a product locator. Myself, as someone who used to sell products, it became really hard to tell people where the closest store to them was to find my product. Once my product is loaded in there, they just put it in there, and the app will tell them where to find my product. Super Shopper is a grocery list optimizer. You load your grocery list, you tell the grocery list what's important to you. Are you looking for only way-less products? Are you looking for only halal products? It shows you where to get those products close to you. Super Shopper is a social shopping app. If you're in a stokvel, in a household, if you're getting married, you get to create a shopping list and share it with people. Already.
It's amazing how quickly 180 seconds can go, eh? Come. Does anyone have any questions? We're going to take 3 questions.
So with regard to, there's 2 aspects that I want to find out now. Is there payment functionality for the end consumer within the app? Or how do I get my products? Do I need to go to the store, or do they deliver to me, or what happens there? And then from a business perspective, do you have like an analytics option? So someone like Woolworths can optimize to reach the best customer possible, you know, because oftentimes you have apps that go out and it's all for the consumer, but what about for the business person as well that wants to maybe get their products out there? Do you have any analytics for them? Thanks.
Thank you, and those are the guys from Wolf and Looper. You guys are famous now. Now, those are very good questions, and thank you for asking them because my time ran out. But, the problem today is that retail stores are finding it very hard to compete in the digital age. Because once you put an app in someone's hand, somebody tries to steal that business. Instead of getting you to eventually walk into a Pick and Pay, We're trying to send you that bread from our warehouse. We're trying to get you to order from kalahari.net. So we need the support of the retailers, and we need to support them. So we're not trying to get in between that process. We're just there to facilitate it, to get the right products to you from the right stores. And in terms of business analytics, yes, definitely. This tool is even more powerful for businesses than it is for the consumers, if not equally so. Because unlike when you put a catalog in the Randburg Sun that everybody throws away, when you advertise on the app and you say, we're selling milk today, that advert is only going out to people who've already said, I'm looking for milk. How amazing is that?
Could have missed it or something, but does your app allow consumers to compare prices between retailers? And I'm asking this because that will be useful if I'm at home and I want to compare. But then the challenge is that data is sensitive. So how are you going to get that from retailers?
Thank you, and that's very true. That data is sensitive. I can't tell you how I get the data because that, at the end of the day, really is the magic that we've created. You can't get a hold of this data. But you can compare products. If you put one item in a shopping list, you'll be able to compare products. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is that you compare shopping lists. So if you put your 10 items in there, it's not going to say bread is cheap at Spar and milk is cheap at ShopRite. It's going to say if you go to Spar, you're going to save 100 Rand. If you go to Woolworths, you're going to spend 200 Rand more. But because you said price wasn't important, you want quality, that's where you're going to get your quality.
Oh, hi. Just one question, sir. Why can't I just go to Google?
That's a great question. And here's the thing. I went to Google. I took a 2-liter Stony bottle. I went to Google and I found prices for Stony in Russia. Like the gentleman said, this information is extremely sensitive. People do not make it readily available. You go and Google your general household items and you won't find them. Even if you Google the barcodes, you won't find them. I mean, it's gone as far as having retailers these days get custom barcoding for the products in their stores. The Coke at Spar won't have the same barcode as the Coke at Pick and Pay because they don't want you to be able to compare them on Google and places like that.
So how's it, Chief? Okay, so I'm just not sure if I missed this part, but I just wanted to find out where can we get your app? That's the important thing.
And that is the most important thing. Now, we're launching our beta testing phase soon to make sure that I haven't told you a whole lot of hogwash, right? It's a limited beta testing phase. So you need to follow, page is gone, you need to follow @SuperShopper, @SuperShopper, and you'll get the link to the mailing list so that you can, SUPRSHOPR, so it's Super Shopper, I can't roll my tongue, Super Shopper.
Thanks very much. Our next picture is Shelton.
Yo, this is overwhelming. Evening, everyone. My name is Shelton Motwa. I'm the founder of a hardware startup company called Epoch Microchips. We are currently based in Johannesburg, Melpark, around here in Melpark. So our specialty is in long-range wireless charging. We operate in the field of electronics and ICT. So what we basically do, we've noticed that you can harvest energy from radio waves emitted by our telecommunications towers around us and apply our technology to convert that into electrical energy and power up your tablet and your cell phone without your wall socket and your AC adapter. So currently we are working with the SABS Design Institute, Tshwane University of Technology, and we are funded by Technology Innovation Agency. So our product at the moment is marketed at universities. We did a market test and we found out that there is a need for students to have this product, because during the day they don't really have time to charge their cell phones and laptops and other mobile devices. So from there, the product will be distributed in universities and colleges around. So the name of the product is called the Aeon Power Bag. It's an all new type of a bag, a laptop bag. You can put in your tablet and your cell phone in there and charge it wirelessly. And I mean wirelessly. So the bag will be produced around 203 rands, and it will be sold at a price of 575, including the electronics and the bag itself. So from there, we will ship about 10,800 units to those universities. And then the revenue for sales revenue will be about 4 million rands. Then once we've got proof that we can sell this bag, then that's when we can take it to your incredible connection, Dion Wired, and so forth. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shelton. And I think, are we actually hearing what Shelton's talking about? This is why I love the hookup dinner. Talk about innovation. And let me tell you very quickly, sorry, PK, very quickly, where we met Shelton. And that was at the third campus launch. The hookup dinner takes this sort of connecting, engaging, contributing community, and we are inciting, it's precisely what Lebo was talking about in that chat. We're inciting the same energy and vibe into students at campus level. So we want them to start thinking on an entrepreneurial level, and that was the first time I heard Shelton pitch. When I heard him pitch, I thought, what is he talking about? And where do I get one? Exciting stuff, exciting stuff. Questions?
Hi, Shelton. Just a quick question. Will your product be available to resellers?
Yes.
Small companies. We're an ICT company based in Johannesburg. And this is a product that I think a lot of our clients will be very, very interested in.
Okay, I think we can talk further after this.
Hi, I'm Kulego Tusini. I've got two questions. The first one, do you own the patent? And if you do, when and where can I buy the shares for the company?
Okay, the patent is, we've got a provisional patent by a company called, a law firm called DM Kish. They're the ones who are busy doing the patent for us, so we can talk and negotiate further after I'm done.
Is there a bunk stool there?
Hi. I just wanted to find out exactly if you can just describe how it looks like, because we live in a society where aesthetic appeal is very important. So if I'm walking around, I don't want to show that in my bag there's something that's charging my things, or like, I don't want to walk around advertising that I'm charging stuff. So yeah, if you could just describe, or if you have a prototype that we could see, that would be great.
Thanks for that question. It's very, very, very important. If we had a projector, maybe I could have came with the stuff and showed you. Yeah, I've got that in my pocket, in my iPhone. I can show everyone who's interested. Okay, I will tweet it. I don't have it with me. It's in my, I will just tweet the bag. The guys who are doing the aesthetics for us is the SABS Design Institute. They are really doing a fantastic job. The graphic designers there are out of this world. So we're also going to introduce something called woven electronics. It's a new concept. It's not even 5 years old. So they just put electronics into textiles. So whenever you walk in there, no one will even recognize that there's electronics, there's complex stuff. It is really complex. It's complex stuff there. So it's very, very cool, I think.
Shelton, this is a really cool idea. It's awesome. I just wanted one question. How much does it weigh?
Okay. Uh, Thanks for asking a very technical question. It's Friday after all, so I want to relax. I don't want to dwell into the nerdy and the geeky stuff. So the bag weighs less than 2 kg because we're using modern electronics. And if Intel can make a microchip at a nanometer scale, it means you can really do something light. So the electronics on its own weighs very less, about 25 grams, and the bag will be about 1.27 grams. So you won't be walking around with a PPC cement. So don't worry too much about the weight. We took care of it.
Great stuff. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to need to use your pens now. Our next pitch is by Daniel Main. He is on Twitter, so for those of you who want to tweet, his handle is at Daniel, Daniel, M, and another M, Aine, Main. So at Daniel Main. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Daniel. Before we start, or as we start, I want to ask you a question. Do you remember those situations where you had an idea, you did nothing about it, and you saw somebody rolling it out there, maybe being successful? Do you sometimes ask yourself, why do I go to seminars about how to become a millionaire? I read books about how to become rich. And the next day and the next year, I'm still in the same place. Does that sound familiar? The reason that happens is because you do not believe what those people are saying you should do. Now, belief manifests itself in two ways: fear or ignorance. So the job that we do, we challenge people to excel at what they do. And to do that, we use two methods. One is to educate people about how to deal with fear and how to make sure that you believe in things. The second way is a process. Because you see, most often, think about when you go to gym. You want to lose weight, you go sign up at Virgin Active. What do? You decide, no, I'm not going to go because it's cold today. So part of the problem is we want to do things, but we don't want to do the things that will get us the things that we want. We want the results, but we don't want it to work. So what we do really is to say, how can you excel? Now, the only way to get people to be the best at the best they can be at what they want to be the best in is to get them to believe. Believe it's at the center of everything. But how do you get people to believe? See, we live in a country with lots of problems, lots of poverty, lots of this and this and this and this. And really, we will never, ever eradicate any of those things until we inspire people to believe that this is what I want to do, this is what I can do. Now, at the core of this is the question that I asked initially is because we don't believe. Either we don't believe in the things that we want to do, or we don't believe that we're smart enough to do it. And it's actually quite simple. Don't believe because we've had. Now, there are three reasons beliefs are formed. One is the experiences that you had. My time is almost up. The experiences we had, what we were told, and what we were modeled. So that's how normally it happens. So what we do is we go into the details of how that happens and how you can modify that. But we also have a process that takes you through. On a monthly basis, you set goals, and our job is to help you face up to the goals that you've set. Have you made progress? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's take some questions.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Joel.
Hi, Joel.
I just want to find out what's your service or product, how to get hold of you, and the cost. Thank you.
The way we're going to be rolling out the product, starting from Q3, is we're going to be running seminars like this one. And some of the seminars are going to be free, but we're going to have others. You know, we have like different courses for. So the price points are going to be ranging from about 1,000, because the issue really is you need to understand how the mind works. You need to understand why you make this commitment and you don't do what you said you're going to do. Because the reason you don't do it is because you don't believe. I mean, let me make a simple example. I'm not taking too long. We know that we're supposed to save money so we can invest it and become rich. Really, the model is save, not save. And save, spend. What do? We earn, we spend, we save. And it doesn't matter how much money you earn, you always going to have no money left to save. So the real issue is it's the belief. So my point really is, for people to deal with issues of belief, you need time, and that time is spent through the workshop that we do. And so starting from 1,000 to about 7,000, depending on really. But really, it's not just about the workshop. It's we come for 2 days, and then we have ongoing sessions for 3 months after. Sorry? My name of the program. Oh, my name is Daniel. Oh, okay. I think that the easiest thing is just follow me on Twitter, and I think that's where you'll get most of the feeds. Yay! Did you say the name?
Yes. So I spelt the name and surname, and I gave you the handle. The Twitter handle is @Daniel, DANIEL, M for mother, M again for mother, AINE. Daniel M. Main. There we go. Everyone got it?
Oh yes, Daniel, I'm a believer. I'm a warrior, yes. Okay, there's a fee attached to it.
Yeah.
And then how would I measure the success of it?
All right. I can just give you a few anecdotal stories, because the results are very practical. I mean, part of the reason that we work with you for a number of months is exactly for you to be able to say, I set the following goals, and am I making progress? Am I not making progress? So that's the easiest way. But I can share a few stories. I was talking with a guy. He works for one of the mining companies. He earns 100 grand a month, and he says to me at the end of the month, he doesn't know what happened to the money. And as we were talking, one of the things that he ended up doing as an action plan was to say, you know what, that was 2 years ago before the new BMW came out. He was going to buy the new BMW, but as a result of interaction, he decided he wasn't going to. Instead, his goal became to save enough money to have $1 million in his account in 3 years' time. So it's just one of the little stories that I can talk about.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
I think I lost you a bit there, or I got a bit confused. What I'm trying to understand is, as much as going back to the Virgin Active example that you gave, if I make a commitment, how do you then help me ensure I am going to go to gym every day without just the motivation? Because me signing a contract at Virgin Active, it's me making a commitment to go to gym, but it does not ensure my motivation to then get up and go to gym every day. So how do you then do that?
I didn't ask them to call me, you know.
We entrepreneurs, we don't put our phones off.
So sorry. I think to get to answer the question quickly is, you make the commitment, and I think part of, and I spoke a lot about belief, part of the whole process is, why do you want to do what you say you want to do? That's really the crux of it. I mean, so many of us here have been in corporates. I was in corporates for many years, and I hated what I was doing. but I stayed there because I, wanted money and that kind of thing. So the reason is, why do you do what you want to? See, there are three reasons that all of us do things. Sorry.
Sorry. Your phone gave you your timer. Thanks, Daniel. I must apologize. I called on picture number 4 before picture number 3. That was my oversight. Sorry, US. So our next picture is, as per the program, is number 3, US.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joost. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 22 years old. And who of you know how big Holland actually is? It's not big. It fits 3 times in your Kruger National Park. So that's, now you know the size. Even though we're not that big, it doesn't mean we don't know how to do business. It also doesn't mean that we don't know how to party. In fact, we have 1,000. We have 1,000 corporate events every year. We have 1,000 concerts every year, and we have 600 festivals every year again. For that, you need a lot of light and sound rental companies who deliver speakers or microphones like this. And that's why we have 2,800 light and sound rental companies only in Holland. Even though these companies are from completely different levels, still they have one thing in common, and that's dry hire. Dry hire is nothing else than just renting out products, such as a specific microphone like this, from company to company. So for instance, an entrepreneur has already got 4 of those microphones, but needs 4 more. What is he going to do? He's going to visit my website, Rent Around. And there was no website at first. There was no transparency in where he could get this product. And now he can, rentaround.nl. So what do? We just make the light and sound rental market in Holland transparent. That's all we do. We started this from the 13th of January 2014. We started sales in November 2013. Before we went online, we had 28 companies. We made almost 100,000 rents. Now, not even online, for 5 months, we made 300,000 rents. It becomes big. It's bigger than we actually thought. Right now, when we look at the prognosis, we're going to make in the end of December 2016, 7 million rents. And that's not only because of the application we're using right now, it's also because we're going to come out with an application for freelancers in the light and sound rental market. People who don't have a job, but who are looking for one and who are looking for an employer. We're also going to sell websites, we're going to sell rent supporting products, we're going to sell everything, especially for this light and sound market. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. We're going to take some questions. At the back.
Amen.
Hello.
I'm just trying to find out if people use your service to rent out stuff, how do I know that if I rent out my things, they're secure? Or do you insure them or something like that?
Yeah, sure. Well, don't forget that Rent Around is a business-to-business website. It's just a website only for light and sound rental companies. So every company has got its company profile where they can say who they are, what they do, what kind of certificates they have, what kind of brands they standardly working with, all those kinds of things. So people can get a touch about how professional are you, you know? So it's still a risk, but dry hire is already being doing for like 30 years or something. So people know what the risk is and they know when to do it, when to do it not.
Hey, hi, man, how's it?
Fine.
you touched on something like a website developing. You're going to do a website. So I want to understand: is that something that you want to do in the future, or because you lost me there? You're renting out stuff, and then all of a sudden you're renting out stuff. Like you're going to be doing websites, and you want to. I don't understand. Which is your main business?
Actually, sorry. Yeah, sure. Yeah. The website is already online. As I said, we went online on the 13th of January. So now there are 95 companies who are offering their products on our website, a total amount of 7,000 products. But I do understand your thought, because we're going to sell websites, just informal websites as well. You understand? So we have a platform for rental, or light and sound rental companies, and we're going to sell websites just for them.
Or you're going to sell them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When?
In a month.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
Hi, Joost.
Thank you. Hi, fine.
So the products you renting out on your website, do they belong to you, or where do you?
No, it's I came up with it because I was a representative in the light and sound market for 2 years. So I visited 400 companies a year. But then I needed a companion, of course, because we have this technical department as well, the developing of the website. So I'm doing this together with my companion.
Hi, Joost.
Thank you.
I see your website is in Dutch, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, it's the duckco.za is already been parked, so wait up. Yeah.
All right.
How much does it cost to become a subscriber on your platform?
Well, we offer 4 different kinds of subscriptions. First is free. Then you can upload free products. It's more for the guy who's renting, so he can fill in his company profile. Then we have a subscription for 10 products. There you pay approximately 150 rands for it every month. 25 products for 300 rands a month, and 600 rands a month for an unlimited subscription. So you can put all the products you have on our website.
Yeah, hey, Joost, Kilian speaking. You are based in Holland, or so how are you going to do your business here locally?
Well, yes, we are based in Holland, absolutely. The light and sound market is a very specific market, so you need somebody who's able to do that for you, who is already familiar with this market. And that's why Monday morning I'll be at one of the, well, actually the distributor in entertainment lighting of South Africa, Monday morning, to discuss him about selling a license for rent around.
All right, makes
Thank
sense.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And again, you're going to need to write in the name of our final pitcher for the evening, who is Sizwe Zim. And if you'd like to tweet him, his handle is @beetroot, as in BEATROOT, beetroot _prod, PROD, as in production. So @beetroot _prod. And this is Sizwe.
There's a Dr. James McQuivey of the Forrester Research who said that a 1-minute video is the equivalent to 1.8 million words, which worries me because I hope that this pitch is not futile. Concept, customization. These 2 factors differentiate between a photo or a video and a great photo or a great video. Ever so often, we see corporate photos and videos that don't really creatively capture the true spirit, DNA, and culture of an organization. Now, as different as everyone in this room is, so do companies differ. So shouldn't each company's personality be shown in this media? Beetroot Productions, ladies and gents, we're specialists at concept-driven media solutions that are tailored to capture each company's personality through concept photography and videography. And we're targeting you, Gauteng's premium businesses that are trying to build a certain brand image. Let us help you show the world your company's true DNA, spirit, and culture. At only around 1,000 Rand per hour, what was value for money? This is not rocket science, ladies and gents. This is essentially a service you can't afford to be without. Now, video marketing has taken over marketing in a big way, and we're only at the beginning of this video revolution. Now, as it grows, video will be increasingly important to you, your brand, your credibility, and your business. Videos engage people, man. Voice sends out a clear message. Emotions are contagious, and movement, that captures interest. And that's what video is, ladies and gents. It's no secret that people's preferences are moving away from audio and text to videos and photos. Now, what can we offer you? Videos for internal marketing, where employees don't always see how they fit into the bigger picture of the organization and therefore don't always identify with the company. Video has proven to be a wonderful tool to drive top management's vision down to workers while increasing their attachment and commitment. And we all know that this means happier workers, increased productivity, lower absenteeism, and other staffing issues like that. There's videos for external marketing. These are your adverts, videos for brand exposure and content marketing. Now, these aren't just another marketing option anymore. Your consumers, they actually expect them. Now, after everything that I've said to show you our understanding of corporate identity, brand image, and company DNA, why choose us, sir? Well, our highly flexible team is half made up of this unique marketing expertise and half made up of this raw film production talent. And that's how we harness these crazy concepts to enhance marketing-driven videos that have a difference and an impact. And you don't need a R1 million marketing budget for our highly specialized service. We've done some pretty credible work for some pretty credible names in business before. This is not rocket science, ladies and gents. We're Beetroot Productions, and we'd love to add value to you. So, sir, you look interested.
Okay. Would anyone like to ask Sizwe a question?
So who are the credible organizations, Chief?
Marketing lady, am I allowed to say the people that we've worked for? I don't think any of them are here. If they're here, sorry to expose you like that. We've done work for Nedbank, we've done work for UJ, we've done work for Symphonia for South Africa. We are currently busy doing work for our first international client. They're quite huge. Am I allowed to say them? Active Operations Management International, they operations and management company that works in 35, or that are established in 35 countries worldwide. So we're doing, yeah, work for them. So we're pretty there.
Hi, Caesar.
Hello.
I don't like standing up. My name is Sibuile. Nice pitch, by the way, man.
Thank
really,
you, brother.
Really enjoyed it. I just want to find out. I've got a PR and marketing company that I work with, and they do obviously video marketing, all these fancy things that you spoke about. What I really want to know, and you also mentioned budget, that we don't have to spend $1 million to create a marketing campaign, a video, etc. But we all know in the space of small businesses, price cannot really be a differentiator. If you go low, you're gonna bend sometime along the lines. So what I need to find out is, what is your unique selling point? Why should I leave my PR or marketing company and use your company? Thanks.
Okay, to answer that, excuse my French, but we're very anal about concept and customization, right? Excuse my French, ladies and gents. So basically with us, it's about understanding and studying your company's unique DNA and personality, and bringing that out in the story that we're telling. So it's kind of like, for an unorthodox example, it's kind of like finding a soulmate who brings the best out of you. Not everybody can bring that best out of you. So we go and do the dirty work in understanding the emotional drive behind the company, the personality of the company, and bring that uniqueness out in whatever. It could be even we doing a video to market a product. but it's not only about the product, it's about the company that's behind the product as well. So those little intricate pieces that make up an organization are all sprinkled in the media that we do. Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Wow, I didn't know I looked like a sir.
No, I
Anyway, brilliant idea. And I like the fact that you mentioned that it's about the company behind, like you guys study the company. What I want to know is that do you guys make a follow-up on the companies that you have marketed? Because obviously once you've marketed them, the brand grows, or like somehow your marketing has an effect on their brand. Do you guys make a follow-up and then have other campaigns that show the growth in the company since then?
So basically, we're really about longevity in relationships. So we don't believe, or we do once-off work for certain peoples, but we don't really believe in that ideology per se. So for those that we do once-off work with, right? It's about creating a video or a photo for them that will leave a legacy, ladies and gents. So it's about creating a classic, if I should say that. In 6 years' time, the video still has shelf life. In 10 years' time, that video is still relevant. One of my favorite videos that from way back, does everyone remember the Soso Amak Look Look video? I really, really love that video. And I think it had a very unique and lovely personal touch to it. The only problem that I had with that video is that it says nothing about Soso as a brand. If you could have taken that video and put it with BP maybe, it still could have stuck with BP. If you could have taken it and put it with Engine, it still would have stuck with Engine. So it had a very nice personal touch to it, but it did not represent the brand that is Soso. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you charge about 1,000 per hour. What's the typical cost would be for like a small business who want to?
For a small business? Wait, a cost to you, or how much would it cost for you to hire us? Well, that depends on a lot of things. It depends on the complexity of the video that you're trying to do. It depends on what you're trying to use the video for. It depends whether you want an animation or a regular video, 3D CGI, or just 2D animation. So it depends on a lot of things, but generally around 20 grand in that space for a very basic 2-minute, I'd say. But I mean, that's just off the top of the head, off the spot. So hit us up, Beetroot Productions, ladies and gents.
Thank you, Sizwe. Okay, so that concludes our pitches for this evening. What we need you to do on your pitch card, please, is to rate our 5 pitches from 1 to 5. You're going to tick the box that you feel is most appropriate. And if you like to, if you want to keep half of this pitch card, you can split it down the center and keep our info with you. Or if not, we do need to collect the pitch cards so that we can count up the votes and find out who our winner is for the evening. So if you can spend just 2 minutes or a minute doing that now, finish up your voting, and our team will come along the aisles to collect the pitch cards from you, and then I'll tell you about our networking mixer, which we're going to kick off now. Okay, so let's get on to the networking mixers. Everyone done with their votes? Anyone still need more time? Hand up. Okay. So one of our team members will come around to collect your pitch cards. So we're going to kick off the networking mixer. What happens in the networking mixer is the energetic vibe in this room just lifts. Because that's what it's really all about. It's what you just saw now, where guys have an opportunity to pitch. Each of you are going to sort of do that with a group of people. So what we ask you to do is literally get up off your seats and talk to other people in the room. Preferably not with the people who you arrived with. So we want you to literally walk to another corner of the room from where you are seated at the moment, to an opposite side, to a different corner. But you stand up and walk away, and we want you to sort of get yourselves arranged in groups of between 10 and 15 people. And we want you to introduce yourself. So you quickly, 30 or 60 seconds, tell the group of people you're with who you are and what you do. And this is really where the magic happens in the evening, because what happens after the networking mixer is you decide about the people who you want to engage with a little bit more. After the hookup dinner, you guys get together, you have meetings, you broker deals, and we've got some brilliant success stories that have come out of the networking mixer. So really take advantage of this opportunity to get to know the other people in this room, because they are representatives from the corporate world, they're representatives from government, they are amazing, smart, young, innovative entrepreneurs in the room. So together you guys can make some magic happen. With the pitch cards, I'm going to ask that you please return our pens. We ourselves are a startup and we like to do things in the most economical way. So please return our pens to the guys as they come around with your pitch card. So let's all stand up and let's get ready to introduce ourselves to a group of people we haven't ever met before. Enjoy.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please get back to our seats, please? Let's get back to our seats. We will still carry on with networking after the formalities. Thank you very much. Let's please get back to our seats, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Stephen Pinto, please come to the desk, please. Can we please take our seats, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. Can we take our seats, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. Can we take our seats, gents? Thank you. Ladies and gents, please, can we take our seats? Thank you very much. Mr. Makanda, this is going to carry on, Baba. Let's take our seats, gents.
Let's take our seat, gents.
Can we please take our seats, ladies and gentlemen? Please, can we take our seats? Thank you very much. You continue doing this later. Can we take our seats, gents, ladies, please? Sorry to disturb. Can we please take our seats, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much, so we can start. Raksha, we're good to go.
Okay, so did we enjoy the networking mixer? Did we get to meet some new people? Okay, that's exactly what it's all about. So we know that it was too short. Often at events like this, when like-minded people come together in a room, there's never enough of time for us to have a good conversation. So the purpose of the networking mixer really is for you to say a quick hello, this is who I am, this is my name, this is what I do, and these are my details. And the idea is either at the end of the evening or on email next week, on a tweet, on a phone, you guys meet up and make things happen in your businesses. That's the idea. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. So for those of you who are veteran Hookup Dinner fans and have been here repeatedly, you know that we are quite specific about the type of people who we invite to come and speak. And every Hookup Dinner is an absolute treat when it comes to this time of the evening, because our speakers are really powerful, influential, smart people. And the people who we choose to bring here are people that we want to inspire you and leave you with some really relevant information for where you are at. So I want to tell you a little bit more about Mr. Oh, am I standing here? Mr. Malose Kekana. Kekana. He is a Wits University graduate holding a degree in BCom accounting. He previously served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Umsobomvu Youth Fund. He's currently the Chairman of Ithala Limited and the National Youth Development Agency. His broad experience serving government-owned agencies gives him the advantage of having insight into opportunities with the public sector. We've invited him here tonight specifically to share insights around what startup entrepreneurs ought to explore to make the most of exploring business opportunities within the public sector. Once again, this is a topic that we chose as an answer to a need that has come out from our hookup dinner community. We all know how many brilliant opportunities there are that exist within the public sector. Often we are under the misconception that those opportunities are only available to a select few. So let's learn a little bit more about how we can make those accessible for us as well. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Malose Kekana.
Thank you very much. I used to work for government, so I must also add, because the two positions you mentioned are associated with government, but in my productive time, I now have started a private equity fund. We invest in coal, oil and gas. And I also have a company called TriStar Construction. So that's something else that I do. I'm mentioning this not because I want you to tell you what I do, but when I left government in 2009, I was pretty much in, having been doing youth development, I also had to start from scratch. And I didn't have much. And I chose to go back into banking because that's where I came from before I went to government. I used to work for a merchant bank, RMB Ventures in the private equity, and I decided to volunteer my time in government for quite a long time. So I do have the experience of being a young or a startup entrepreneur. I'm not talking to you from a perspective of some big shot guy. I'm talking about a guy who in 2010 didn't have income for about 2 years. Yeah, so that's the perspective from which I'm talking. So the frustrations that you have are the frustrations that I have experienced being inside, seeing people that I used to assist, experiencing them, and then going out and experiencing them as an entrepreneur myself. So that's the perspective from which I'm going to be talking to you from. The topic is, but before I say that, I have to say, this is probably one of the most inspiring events I have ever attended in a very long time. And I think we should give a big round up for the hookup dinner. And I was asking people that the National Youth Development Agency should put a lot of money in this, because I think, it wouldn't make sense for them not to be associated with such a magnificent event. And I'm happy to hear that it's going national. And I think even beyond the nation, we should link up and network with the rest of the African young people on the continent. Sometimes in South Africa we used to say when you go into Africa, they ask you, where you from? South Africa. I'm going into Africa, as if we're not in Africa. So I think it's something that is really incredible. I didn't know anything about the hookup dinner, but there's a young guy, Andrew, that used to be my colleague at Umsobomvu, and so I just trusted him. That it's, I didn't know anything. I had not read about it, so I just came here purely on the basis of the belief. Where's the belief guy? So I came here purely on the basis of the belief. So the topic is about improving access to procurement for small businesses. So I've got I've got 6 points to make on what my thoughts are. And I'm sure there are many more thoughts. I know that this is a fun event, so it's not a time for long speeches and so on. So I'll just give you some sound bites. And you are all very intelligent people, so you'll be able to extrapolate that which I'm saying. I mean, one of the big issue in terms of the way the topic was framed was about the problem of incumbency. People who get an opportunity and somehow there are no more opportunities being created for young, small, new businesses. But the problem I have with the question is that it's posed purely from the perspective of the public sector. And I don't think the problem, in as far as access to procurement, is a public sector problem. I think it's a business problem, whether it's business driven by government or business driven by large corporate. Because even if you go to big, large mining companies, you'll find that there is a problem of incumbency. So I don't think we should limit the topic purely to government. So why is it that people don't get access to opportunities? I think I always say sometimes there's a problem of ageism. And I've experienced it because I was young once. So there is often a perception that so you've got an interior designer or a space planner or marketing and PR and so on, very limited track record. And there's always a problem of ageism. Instead of people looking at, I was listening to one of the young guys with a bag that is going to charge your phone and so on. That in fact, sometimes you lose out on innovation by not involving new and young entrepreneurs into opportunities. And that's largely what we deal with often. And obviously, also the issue around corruption. So one of the ways my thoughts are that we need to look at a term limits for service providers, or what I would call service provider rotation, which would then push out the incumbents so that they can chase opportunities somewhere else. And we have sufficient financial intelligence to be able, because there are people who commit fraud, who will, adopt a new persona. I mean, when I used to lend money, there were people who, when they're blacklisted, they would even have a new identity. From Mr. Mkize to Mr. Lamula, but still with the Zulu accent, So, so the only thing that when we're doing a due diligence, we'll catch up with my Lamula. I mean, they speak speed, but no, this, So, so, so that would happen. But I think we've got sufficient financial intelligence instrument to be able to detect fraud. But I think introducing term limits is one good way, so that there is service provider rotation. So a person knows I'm in for 3 years and then I must get out, or look at expanding my market to other areas. The second thing, which is from a government perspective as well, is better planning. I mean, we do budgets for 5 years, for 3 years. I don't know why we procure services for 1 year. For example, if we are going to be building a school, let me use technology. If we are going to be building an application, let me use a school because that's much easier. I can relate to that as a builder. I mean, as a Department of Education that you need 20 schools. It takes a year to 2 years to plan for a school, to procure the capacity. As to why you cannot have multiple projects running at the same time, that would then allow different people, because you can't contract my capacity, your capacity, and the next guy's capacity at the same time. There is obviously going to be a need to match, to have a multiple project management capability, which would then make sure there is a match between the service being required and the financial flows. Because obviously with government, liquidity is an issue in terms of how money flows. But if I'm going to be building a school, if I say to you, we're building a school in 2014, but we're going to need a school in 2015, 2016, that means I can give 3 different builders an opportunity at the same time. and then they can start working knowing that in 2015, that's when I'm actually going to be get paid. And by the time they finish that school, because it takes about 3 to 4 years, they will be moving on to another one and another one. So every 3 years or 2 years, they know they have something. Now what happened is, because it's 1 year, only one person gets, and then because there are issues, the same guy gets, because I'll come to those issues, and it calls out everybody. But if we were to have a multiple project management capability, where over a 3 to 5 years, you can say that there's 10 or 15 providers that have been given this opportunity, it would really help. Instead of us doing in 1 year at a time. I don't know why we plan those over a 5-year period, but we only plan our project on a year-by-year basis. Doesn't make sense. So I think we need to reconcile the two. The third problem is the issue around corruption. You know, incumbency is promoted by public servants seeking a kickback. So I trust her. So I don't want to have a new conversation about corruption with you. So I'm always going to be giving her the job. And that's really one of the big issues why there is no rotation. So one of the things that I think we should move officials around with a maximum of 3 to 4 years from the supply chain function. So that, you know, he knows while the city is getting a little bit move on to HR, you know, or whatever, you know? Because that is a problem. You know, you put, I mean, in fact, there are supply chain people who move from one department to another, you know? And I think part of the problem is that we need to add the supply chain position. And people must know I'm in it for 2, 3 years, and I'm going to move out. The fourth point that I'll make is around, let me put this way, we did research in 2003. We did that research with a World Bank agency where we were looking at supply or procurement and what were the patterns. We found that especially young people, women, and black people, both within government and corporate, they tended to only be sought after for low value products. So there was a bias towards that. So stationery, catering, etc. You know? So one of the things that can solve this problem, I was saying to Andrew before I came here, I said, you know, when you come from a poor family and there's 5 of you, a loaf of bread have got 20 slices. So you all know, like 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, but then you've got this bully brother who comes and eats 7, you know? You know, he chows 4 in the morning, 3 later on. And then you, as these 5 children, you start fighting for this loaf of bread. But the problem is actually not only the fact that you ate 6 slices, it's also the fact that you only have a flipping only 1 loaf of bread. So as long as there's going to be this limitation around the scope of services that is procured from new, young, black women-owned businesses, and there's a bias towards low value type of products and services, the loaf of bread is always going to be staying the same. And one of the things, I mean, government has got a 354 billion rand budget. So it cannot be, I don't think that as young, small, this is black and white, young, small, whatever, that we get more than 6 to 7 billion rand. That money must be going somewhere. And the question that we need to be asking, instead of fighting amongst ourselves for the small loaf of bread, has to be, what do we do to make sure that the scope of what is procured goes beyond the normal? We need to have a new normal which goes beyond what we know. So if there's defense products that are required, who says with, you know, I'm sure the guys who are fighting in Afghanistan somewhere, they need your product to power their batteries, you know, or Iraq. You know what I mean? I mean, they're fighting out there, you know, where do they get to plug? You know what I mean? It's not even an option. You know what I mean? So, but if then the scope of service is going to be young, black, mutwa. No ways. I mean, this guy, you know what I mean? I so kind of like maybe bought it from SABS. But if it's not given an opportunity, and then it goes to IBM or Cisco or whatever, whoever your competitors are, you're never going to get up. So we need to broaden our horizon in terms of the opportunities that we give for young black, especially women entrepreneurs. So it's not just about stationery and catering. You know? But I must tell you, I mean, you know, when I was raising money for the fund I'm running, I mean, I'll tell you this. Let me give you an example. So in 2001, when I started Sobong, young black people didn't get money, period. Okay? Period. So I went to banks. I issued a tender. No one responded. I went to all the banks. They said to me, young, black, township, no security. So we decided later on in 2004, because we've been trying to talk to this guy, you know what, to hell with these guys, we're going to do it ourselves. And then suddenly they started seeing a young black guy owning a Nino's in front of Main Street and seeing a young black guy running a filling station. And suddenly they started entering the market. So that's the kind of perception that needs to continuously be fought against. My last 2 points around policy. You know, I'm happy we've got a black African minister. I'm sorry. But I hope he understands my shit, where I come from. You know? So if there's one big ups for President Zuma will be that, you know, in my lifetime, I've got a black African minister. Hopefully understand. So here's my beef. Here's my beef. Was that there's something called Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act, triple PFA, right? Very long, I think. It was changed somehow before the BE Act was changed. And then it started to value price and functionality above empowerment. So if you had lower functionality, Mutwa with an unproven solar battery or, no, not battery, fabric or something, I don't know, like microwave or something like that. Somebody who's got a functionality that is proven, and obviously because they've been in business for a long time, they'll have the economies of scale to price it lower. That was awarded 90 to 80 points, and empowerment between 10 and 20. And then it was said, for certain designated products, those, yes, you could prefer empowerment, which is like supplying tin stuffs, right? Nonsense like that, okay? And I mean, I had a very big problem. I mean, I had a very big problem. I worked with the BBC. I mean, I took the minister then on this. But in any way, the regulation was passed. And that's one regulation we must fight. And we mustn't flinch that fight. Because as long as it doesn't change, empowerment is valued at 5%. I mean, one of my first businesses when I was 23 years old was a Kaya car rental. So I've been mobilizing and panding, you know, as well for quite a while. And I mean, how can I compete on price with AVs? With, you know, I mean, I was always out. Then fortunately there were guys like Lawton Groove, I remember at People's Bank. He just gave me his whole, you know, his own thing, right? But if I was to go to ESCOM, I would never win unless there's somebody who feels my pain. So this law has to change because it entrenches existing businesses which by definition are white or run by old people, right? Because it's mostly old people who are doing BE deals where they're not the operator, you know, because they're political. We don't do BE, we run businesses. We start our shit and we run it, right? So I don't want to buy 25% what, I own my own thing, right? So as long as this happens, it's always going to be the existing old businesses that are going to be entrenched. Let me end by being a little bit controversial against you now. I've been against government. Now I'm turning against you. Black brothers, white women, sisters, whatever, whenever you're small, plan for rainy days. Okay? Plan for rainy days. You know, I've seen guys that we've given work to. And there's nothing wrong with this polo. And then nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with this polo, nothing wrong with this tears. And then you give him a contract. Now you meet the brother, he's putting his pens are here. He's changed from KWV to single malt whiskey, from drinking JC Leroux to drinking Moe and Verve. Plan for rainy days. You're always never going to be getting the job. And sometimes you give people a job to give them the leg up and then what they do, they come up, instead of using that as a platform to go on to bigger things, you know what they do? They spend it. They don't invest in their businesses. And they come, government is not giving us enough work. We gave you work. You spend the money. You should have gone and bought the KFC franchise or something like that. You know, because business, if you are depending on procurement, this cash flow is always going to be cyclical. So you need to be thinking, if I'm in the cyclical IT business, which is tender-based, I need something that is a little bit more stable. Maybe I need to buy a filling station or something like that. Or maybe I need to invest in my friend's business and take a 25% stake in this business, because when I'm losing money and I'm not getting procurement opportunities, at least I've got a consistent dividend flow that is going to keep me going. But you know what we do? We go and buy cars. Remember, when Ford started cars in 1906, they are making, as we sit here, they'll still be making, secure your future, save your money, and make sure that when the rainy days come, you are ready for them. So that is the one thing that kills us, and then the dependency on one client. If you've been given one client, make sure that that one client has opened the door for you. Now you don't own me. Don't come back all the time. You know, because that's when then you say, well, because I don't want to work hard enough, I must bribe him so that I can keep him. Right? So whilst there is a problem with our procurement system, I think there's also a problem with the fact that people have got minds where they don't think beyond today and plan for the rainy days. So those are my thoughts in terms of what we can do around procurement. I'm sure there's a 15 other or 30 other ideas, but I was speaking from my experience. Thank you very much.
Wow, really insightful, really insightful. Can we have a few more minutes for this time? Would anyone like to ask any questions?
Good evening, sir. My name is Teofatso Molebati, sir. I've got a question. Two. I don't know where to attribute the problem to. I don't know whether it's with regards to access to information, Department of Information, or whether to say it's education, Department of Education. But my question is in relation to how people have access to information to certain things. For instance, you will find that there's a law that is being passed, for instance, and this law is in relation to entrepreneurs. But you find that entrepreneurs know nothing about that. They don't know anything about whether or not they have the power to comment on the green paper. Because what happens is that there's a process in which government follows to have certain laws passed. And you find that big corporations, multinational companies and so forth are actually more well vested to be able to change the landscape of these laws more than the people that are actually affected by these laws. So My question is in relation to that. I don't know where the problem lies. Please address that, sir. Thank you.
You see, there's something called networks, like hookup dinner. You know, like hookup dinner. Because I'm sure you'll say, you know, FAP costs enough cockers for all people, you know. But there is something in the power of being organized. I mean, I fought against an unjust system. If we were not organized as COSAS, as the United Democratic Front, as Black Student Society, as ASASO, before SASCO, if we were not organized, we would never have won against the system. Because sometimes it's not just even about having the information. It's about having the power of the numbers and the collectivity in terms of collaborating around thoughts and solutions. That's what drives change. And for me, I don't think it's actually just an information issue. I think it's about not being organized. And I think the less individual we are, the more information we'll get. But information, getting it is not enough. It's actually being able to do something about it. And that rests squarely on the power of numbers.
Good evening, Malose. My question is around this paradigm that we need to shift. We are consuming as black people, and we are not creating anything. I would like for you to share your thoughts around that. How can we change our thinking? Because in the economy, we are just spenders. You look at a simple thing. I've always observed this in a township like Soweto. In the morning, at the ports of Soweto, cars are leaving out, and there's this truck that comes in to deliver bread. Can we not make bread for ourselves there and stop? Because this truck, as it leaves with money. How can we change our thinking?
You know, there's a woman, Naomi Klein. She wrote a book, and she's got a chapter on South Africa. And the title of the chapter is Democracy Born in Chains. Naomi Klein. I cannot remember the title of the book, but if you're tweeting, I'm sure you can Google. Democracy, etc., etc. And she talks about democracy born in chains with specific reference to our country. So we've got parastatals that we've inherited, Dinel, Telecom, etc., etc. And so one of the things that I once said was that, you know, we need to promote patriotic capital, which becomes monopoly capital, but is owned by private people. So, for example, it doesn't mean because there was Telkom and so on. So, in fact, another very good book was written in 1985 by Subrata Katak, is a professor of economics, development economics. A very good book. And so, before I go back to Naomi Klein and democracy born in chains, he says that there is a problem with economics and how we plan. Because what we tend to do, and this is why I have a problem with these big infrastructure things, because they tend to happen around urban areas. And what Professor Katak says in 1975 when he did a study with the Brooks Institute in Washington University, was that unfortunately things like Gautrain, they will crowd out investment in rural areas. Okay? So you'll say, well, we need it. Well, that's fine. But the problem is any government needs to have a very fair balance between investing in things that people are consuming today as a way of creating jobs. So, for example, food and food security is a big issue. So maybe instead of Telkom putting money in ATA that no one uses, or few people use, perhaps that kind of investment can be put in a food production business, which is based on many few little people. You know, in India, Fritos is supplying 60,000 small little farmers. 60,000 little farmers. And they make potatoes. They've got farm shops like Afgri has. And when they get to the shop, they weigh their product and they can be credited, they can take the money or can take something else. And so there is an investment that has been made based on the capability and the capacity as well as the consumption patterns. So that's a very good question because it's not, I don't think it's something that can be addressed only by individuals, but it's also about our planning and policy. So the question is, for example, we have thousands of young people living Soweto to go to school in town, sometimes even dodgy schools. It's not a Soweto issue, it's like most townships. So, you know, a couple of teachers, we've got very good teachers, set up a private school in Soweto for black kids, by black people, by black parents, for themselves. And for me, then you'll hear government saying, well, it's going to displace the public schools that are there. They are leaving anyway. And we've got like lots of schools that are closed in Soweto, which are not being utilized or used for wrong things. That why can't they be given to me and you as a consortium? Maybe that's what we should do, and we can come and pitch our idea here one day and raise money from you to set up a private school for black kids for ourselves in a township, so that we're not having this perpetual mentality to think everything good is outside where we live. So for me, these are some of the things that we need to do so that we can unchain ourselves from the type of democracy that we've inherited. Talk about, you talk about trucks coming in. Why don't we save money amongst ourselves? In Kenya, they've got the Cooperative Bank of Kenya. They've got things called SACCOs, and they've got loans. They call them habana haba, hanyani hanyani, smalanyan, smalanyan. So you come today, we give you 5,000 rand, you buy a machine, we give you 25,000 rand, and we see you are trustworthy, and so on and so on. And most of that money comes from the associations, small little associations made up of 8 or 10 traders. They call them juagalis, I think, in Swahili. And they save money amongst themselves in what they call a SACCOs. And I don't have to be complaining about the NYDA, CFA, the IDC, etc. They are solving their problem. Obviously, government has a role to play. I don't want to dismiss that. So these are some of the things where we can free ourselves. And of course, government must come to the party.
Okay, good evening. My question is, I'm not sure if you're the right person now that you're the ex-CEO of Umsawombu, but I guess you can kind of give us an idea. I used to be in the space of reviewing your marketing strategies with CEDA and all of them. And my major gripe with that was, who are you advertising to? Because you go to the auctions where people need the funding, and there's no CEDA, Umsobomvu advert. But then you fly SAA, and there's a pretty little, in the in-flight magazine, and this person who's flying, well, not that everybody who flies has money, but usually they can afford to start their own business. But the guy who's still taking a taxi to town doesn't know what CEDA is. So who are you marketing to?
Who we used to market to. I was in so much trouble for funding Yizo 2. If you remember that. Yizo 2, they hauled me to parliament. But wena uzofana le nto le abantwana bethu abona abantu watu ejele bayenza kanje. I stood my ground. Because that was the feedback I got. And public radio stations, I mean, they are amazing. And then community radio stations. And then we ended up having our own magazine, but it was distributed by Sunday Times. It had some circulation, but it wasn't working. And it was before social media. So that's how old I am. But I think social media is giving us an amazing platform. An amazing platform. There is absolutely no need to be buying adverts in the Sunday Times and so on when something can be tweeted or can be on. I'm gonna roll my tongue so I can be your age, you know. Can can be tweeted or can be on Facebook, you know, or can be mixed it, you know what I mean? So I do agree with you. I absolutely agree with you that I think, and the nice thing about it is that if I was running an agency, if I was running the agency today, I would not pay 1 cent to any advertising agency. If I want to put up an ad, I'm going to put it on Facebook because then it's going to be on million handsets because most young people, whether rural or urban, they are on Facebook or they are on Twitter or they are somewhere. This nonsense that, but in the rural areas, young people don't have phones. They don't tweet. That's nonsense. They do. Right? They do. So I do agree with. And then the other thing is the power of being organized and not along political lines. Because, you know, one of the things is, I'll tell you one fundamental mistake I made. You know, there used to be, and this is a mistake that is going to haunt me for a long time. It was a very bad mistake I made as a CEO. So there were organizations like Joint Enrichment Project. We started during the apartheid days to fight and organize young people. Organizations like in Katoras, which were helping young people who were in the self-defense unit and so on. These were organizations that were set up by young people for young people. And so we formalized them. And we used standards. We didn't create the freedom for them to be what they can be. You know, I was telling Delia I'm traveling with, my daughter was saying to me before she left, she says, you know, she's 8 years old. No, Papa, I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable with who I am. You know, I don't need to be anybody to feel comfort. This is an 8-year-old. I don't know why she was saying this. I think there must be a song somewhere. Somewhere. so, so I was telling her coming here, like, hey, what's up? You know, like a boyfriend, like listen to like wrong music. What's going on? You know, but there is something about now in development. It's called embeddedism, right? Where you embed ideas amongst and within the people, working with the churches, working with youth groups, and so on, even if they are informal. And that is one mistake. If I could turn the clock back, that's one thing I would change. So I do agree with you that sometimes we go to something and something. You know this big advertising company, they've got something and something names, like something and something. And then you arrive there with the stilettos. And I'm the CEO, and I'm like, hey, these people must be very clever. And they are leading me in the wrong direction, you know? So, and sometimes it's young guys, you know, I started a program with Nestle, and just before I left, and that's why I learned about the power of trusting in young people. These young people who sell ice cream. Because when I went to Nestle, they said to me, but crime, they're going to take money from them. I said, okay, let's hire the guys who've got criminal problem. Because who's going to take money from them? You know? And that program today, I mean, you'll see that now it's distributing Soberville, and now it's NYDA and Nestle. I started that program. And we're 10,000 young people who, Mom, parents, I want this guy, there's no way I'm going to be taking money from him. You know? And it's trusting in young people, and regardless of how high, how low, and making sure that if an initiative for young people, you embed it in them. And they will figure it out. They will make it work. Like you guys are making hookup work. Like you make quite a work. You know?
Evening, Mr. Kekane and everybody. I do not have a question, but I have a request on what you mentioned about Triple PFA. I want the guys we hook up dinner with your help that we voice out our concerns about this ad to the government, make a campaign on Twitter or whatever that the hookup dinner will decide on,
and we show the government and tell the government our concerns about this act.
I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to work my damn hardest with Hookup Dinner to bring the Minister of Small Business here. Right? I'm gonna do that. Lindy Wezul, I'm gonna work my damn hardest. Like from today, I'm gonna tweet about it. Facebook. We're gonna run a Facebook campaign. Bring the minister to Hookup Dinner, you know? So and I'll be the first guy there. I'm gonna write a small statement and everybody and so on and so on, and to go viral, I know, within a few hours and so on, right? But this is the most progressive event. I mean, like when I was your age, manje, we were saying manje, you know, hey, you're a single malt thing. So you know, you guys are doing something constructive, and I think that that's where it should start. She must be the champion of change for small businesses. And we shouldn't, you know, one of the things that don't have this tendency of thinking everything government is bad or every government leader doesn't feel your pride. That must give her a chance and tell her this is what we need. She's new. She's going to have to fight for her space. And because, you know, one of the things I learned in the YPO as a member of the Young Presidents Organization is that if somebody criticizes you, you defend yourself. But if somebody comes up with an idea and gives you an experience about how something you're doing has affected them, it's much easier for that to resonate with you than to be criticized. Okay? And so one of the things that I found sometimes trouble, if there's something that young black entrepreneurs can do, and you know, I don't blame us, right? Because we come from the history of insurrection, of making the government ungovernable. And so we have a Klebhoyer mentality, but sometimes also, of course, a reflection of frustrations, okay? So I'm not dismissing that. But there are times when discourse and conversation is more effective than confrontation. And I think let's approach it with that. Lebo Maile is your age. He's the MEC for Economic Development in Gauteng. That's one guy who doesn't have a choice. He must come here. And that guy must make sure that even the minister comes here. Right? Because he's a young guy. Right? So we should get him here. And that issue, plus many more other issues, are issues that should be placed on government, but with a mentality of building. You know, when the people of Cuba and Gorbachev decided to end the perestroika in 1986, and that marked the end of the Cold War, and then later on Mandela's release and so on. The people of Cuba didn't have petrol, didn't have diesel, they didn't have fuel, and almost everything in the economy was based on crude. And they went through a period called the special period. They could have easily gone onto a revolution against Fidel Castro and so on. But the people of Cuba chose. Well, maybe you'll say, well, I mean, this April, spring now, you know. But they showed, working among themselves collaboratively with their government, that they could weather the storm that was created by sanctions, etc., etc. The fight for freedom, for total emancipation, is going to be harder, it's going to be longer, and unfortunately, that fight has got rules. People can take you to court. It's fought in the boardroom, not with stones. And it's going to need us to have more thought than just might. That fight is going to be long. And we need to work together as ordinary people and as government to free ourselves totally. Mandela's period was about standing in front of the courts and making a speech. That was okay. That was to work. It can still work. It can still exert pressure. But let me tell you, capital has got tricks. has got tricks. And so if we don't think 5 steps ahead and we think we can just throw stones, we'll never be free. So that must be the attitude we take from here going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So for those of you who have attended for the first time, what we think? Yay or nay? Yay, hey? You see what I meant when I said we choose our speakers very intentionally. We hope you enjoyed that. So we've come to that time of the evening. I know we've run a little bit over with time, but often this ends up happening at the hookup dinner. You know, we have these networking mixers where you guys want a bit more time, and then we have these phenomenal speakers with these insights that we absolutely cannot have you miss out on. So I apologize. I know we have run late. We're going to wrap things up quickly now. And we're going to do that by announcing our winner for the evening. There's almost been this undercurrent of this theme that's been running across the evening, and I feel like our winner tonight is evident of that. And I think it all started with Dr. Life's Good with Lebo on screen this evening, and he told us about where he's at and what's happening, and he spoke specifically about a focus area, specifically where our winner tonight is a great representative of, and that is in the space of youth. So, who's our winner tonight, PK? Should I tell them or should you? Who's our winner tonight? Our winner is Shelton. Congratulations. So now, Pakiso will tell you a little bit more about what you've won.
Didn't you win the last time? Oh, okay, you did it. So firstly, congratulations, Chief. I think you have an amazing idea. So compliments of the hookup dinner and SAB Kickstart, obviously that powers the movement. We're gonna give you $2,000 cash into your account so that you can get the actual material done. So you can come with a prototype here. But also there are other amazing things that we're gonna give to you, and I wanna call one of our partners or sponsors called Y Diddy in order for him to kind of tell you what else you're going to be getting by being part of the platform. Noah, can you come here quickly? Show you how we hook people up, Chief. Yeah, we don't play.
Hi, thank you. Hi, how you doing? You look my height back there. So it was a bit intimidating, you know. Yeah, you were declared a winner already as you were giving your idea. Not that the other speakers weren't just as good. I think your idea is a need. I'm sitting on my laptop there. I'm actually working because I'm afraid I might run out of power, and I've been load shedding at home, you know, quite a lot and frequently. So I hope I get this back very soon. But you will be on the YDD show tomorrow as part of our sponsorship deal with the hookup dinner. It's at 8 o'clock in the morning, all right? And essentially, as a young person with an idea and you're developing it now, you need investors, you need partners, you need access to market. And you know, a radio platform is always that great, a platform whereby on our show we've got plus minus on average 250,000 listeners. Amongst those could be a potential investor, potential partner, and we want you to come and just spread the word and
Congratulations.
We want to say to the rest of our 4 pitchers this evening, thank you very much. We love listening to new ideas. We love hearing about new businesses. We hope that you gain something from exposing your business here on the platform tonight. And I want to...
And lastly, before we actually close, I want to give acknowledgement, obviously, and grateful thanks to, obviously, our venue partner, which is The Open. Obviously, they supply us with this amazing space here. And I also want to bring something that's very exciting for us. We've just been able to secure a very young gentleman that is going to power the movement to ensure that we are able to get to the places in which we operate in when we go nationally. And this guy has recently just come on to become a travel sponsor for the hookup dinner. So as we go into Cape Town, as we go into Durban, he's the guy that makes sure that we get a car so we can go there. And good thing it's not a Spark. It's not a Chevy Spark, guys. So he's really hooked us up. So I actually want to just call him up. He's from a company called Our Car Hire. Please come up, Sandile.
Good evening, everyone. It's my first time here. And he's an old friend of mine. But we had lost a bit of contact. And then he booked a car through my company. He didn't know it was my company, Our Car Hire. And then when I saw the name, I said, Paki, so I know this person. In my mind, it was like he knew it was my company. Until about 2 weeks later, he called, I think, to book again. What happened? He called to book, or he was extending a car that he had hired. And then I said to him, hey, I actually called him. And then he didn't know it was my company that he was booking the car through. And then from there, he told me about it, because I asked, what is this life's good thing that you that you guys are talking about and always booking cars about? And then he told me everything, and I was interested, and I said, you know what, I think Our Car Hire is part of that, because we are also a small business. I would say also a startup, because we've been operating for about 2 years. We are a car rental company anywhere in South Africa. And the group that I was with there, they said there is a catch. I don't know. There is no catch, guys. We offer unlimited kilometers. There is no catch. I've given the hookup dinner cars, I don't know how many times. We can't count now. It has always been unlimited. There is not one single moment where he had to pay for 1 extra kilometer that he traveled. We have actually partnered with the big companies that you know out there in the industry. The AVs, the Europcar, the First Car Rental, Tempest, Hertz, you name all of them. This thing has not been known for a long time to us. That you can actually do something like that, but it's not easy to do it, but it is doable. Yeah. Guys, our website is www.ourcarhire.co.za. That's where you book. And this evening, I also want to extend to this house a special offer. In the booking, when you make a in the booking, when you make a booking, where it says remarks or comments, you must just say the hookup dinner, rate B. You must just write that, because we've got 3 rates there. We've got a rate from 1 to 5 days. We've got a rate from 5 to 14 days. And we've got a rate from 15 to infinity. So you guys, from day one, we're going to charge you with a rate of 6 to 14 days, which is a saving. You will see when you get to our website, because our prices are there in our website. It's not like because today it's a Durban July weekend, then they're going to change. But, okay. They don't want me to tell you good news, guys. But All I'm going to say is we all entrepreneurs here. We all travel. I would be very pleased if you guys can consider traveling with us, because we are traveling with the hookup dinner. Thank you very much.
So guys, remember, if you don't have the hookup dinner in your booking, you don't get the rate, Baba. Okay, you're gonna pay 700 rand. And I mean, and I can testify, unlimited kilometers. I think the most that we've paid is about 300 rand for a booking over 3 days. As a result, we're just driving. The last trip we took to Durban, we booked a car and we drove down, came back. I don't want to say what else we did there, but we just did it. Just saying, hashtag. So the other thing in closing, gentlemen, so that we're not wasting everybody's time, I want to thank you, sir, Malose Kekana. I really want to thank you. I think I felt like I was listening to an older brother talking. And I really appreciate your time and the effort that you've brought here. I also want to help you and asking you guys as well to say, if we want to bring this lady here, Mrs. Zulu, okay, let's rather run a hashtag under the hashtag of the hookup dinner, and let's call it bring Lindiwe Zulu at the hookup dinner. So if we can hashtag that from today till tomorrow, and we'll hashtag you as well, let's see how quickly that can happen. Are we all game? Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, so a couple of people have been asking us, how does one apply to pitch on the platform? There are two ways of doing it. We put some information in your program for you. For those of you who are a little bit tech savvy, you know how to put a video together, you know how to upload a video, we would like to invite you to do that, to do a quick pitch, a 60-second pitch or a 180-second pitch, and upload it to our YouTube channel, which is called Just Pitch TV ZA. And from there, we will screen the applicants and we will get in touch with you. When you upload your video, you will need to put your contact details on and send us an email to let us know that it's there. Alternatively, if that's a bit challenging for you, drop us an email at thehookupdinner@gmail.com and let us know that you would like to pitch. And from there, we'll engage with you a little bit more around the procedure. We do like to see a little bit before this evening, so there will be some form of pre-screening. And on that note, on this very, very cold Johannesburg evening, thanks to each of you for keeping it hot in here with us. We can't have this evening without you, so stay in touch. Check out the Facebook page next week for all your photographs, and we hope to see you at the next one. Please drop your lanyards off at the door on your way out, and you can pick it up again at the next hookup dinner. Thanks, guys, and drive safe. Good night. Can we please have the hookup dinner team at the stage for a team pick? Hookup dinner team, please, at the stage. Thank you. If you haven't had a chance to get dinner yet, something fresh is still got some yummy food available, so you can still grab a bite to eat before you leave. Thanks.